A young boy walked onto a beach and looked around. He smiled at the sight and seemed almost relieved that the water was blue. In a dark room, the same young boy was recording a video. He introduced himself as Jesus. He was 8 and said he was going to tell the story of everyone. He then left the room with the camera and flashlight in hand. He entered a room where 2 people were sleeping. He introduced them as Pablo and Maria and explained that they loved each other very much. They were always all over each other. As he recorded, Pablo got up, scolded Jesus, and ordered him to leave.
Vete a la cama.
Vale.
Jesus then went to another room. There, another couple was also sleeping together. He introduced them as Lucas and Mateo. He said the same thing about them, that they loved each other, and then exited the room.
Mejor les dejamos dormir.
Next, he went to Magdalena, who was an astronomer. Next to her was Anna, who was like a sister to Jesus. He used to sleep with them, but after Anna started saying she was a big girl, he stopped. In another room, Pedro was working out. Jesus mentioned that Pedro was a soldier. Pedro noticed him and asked why he was not in bed.
A dormir.
Vale.
Jesus got into his bed and kept recording. Pedro used to be the boss there, but now Maria was. He had also been Maria's boyfriend.
Pedro antes era el novio de María. Ya no.
The next morning, Magdalena came into Jesus' room to wake him up. He asked for more time, but Maria told him breakfast was ready.
Y hoy te toca ducha.
Vale, vale, no grites.
He got ready and went to join the others for breakfast. After greeting them with good morning, he sat at the table. He wanted an egg, but there were none. He then revealed they were going to see Judas, but Magdalena was not happy about it. Anna interrupted, saying it was only Judas, and they were not going anywhere. Mateo also interrupted, saying they were kids and it was their collective responsibility.
Sí, venga, déjalo, y no me des la charla.
Jesus took out his camera and started recording. Anna and the girls asked Magdalena to tell Jesus to stop recording her, and he finally stopped.
Estúpido. Niñata. Niñito.
Jesus went back to his room to gather his materials to study. Maria was the one teaching him, and on the opposite side, Mateo was teaching Anna.
De vuelta en 2 horas.
Later, Anna and Jesus went down the stairs to an old hallway. Anna wanted to go back, but Jesus went in, placed some food he had stolen from breakfast by a door, and walked out. After they left, a hand pulled the food inside. The 2 of them then went to see Judas. After greeting them, Judas gave Anna a makeup kit. She excitedly kissed him. He then told them they could watch a movie, and they both happily agreed.
Bien, eso nos da para ver una peli, ¿no?
Genial.
Venga.
Maria was sitting alone writing. Pedro walked in and told her that he was not feeling well and could not handle it anymore. He begged her to help him, but she told him they did not have many tranquilizers left despite his pleas.
Por favor.
Quedan pocos calmantes. No puedo hacer excepciones.
Jesus, Anna, and Judas sat to watch a movie. After the movie, Jesus asked about what was outside and when they could go out. Judas asked if the people upstairs did not talk about it. As they talked, the phone rang. After answering, Judas told the kids it was time to go.
Porque os vayáis. La próxima vez que vengáis os cuento más cosas de la guerra, ¿vale?
Anna and Jesus went out to go upstairs. As they walked, they heard a sound. Then they saw a figure in the distance. Jesus told her it was the solitary child, but Anna, scared, rushed to go back.
Ahora vámonos. Magda nos va a matar. Venga.
After going back to their floor, Anna went into her room. Pablo came to Jesus and asked if he could borrow his camera. After a little hesitation, Jesus gave it to him. Pablo took it and started recording Maria when she came in.
Sí que estoy agotada.
Ay.
Venga, un besito.
In her room, Anna tried the makeup Judas had given her. Lucas interrupted Mateo at work and started kissing him playfully. Judas, in his room, watched an adult movie. Jesus slept silently. Pedro, unable to sleep, heard Maria and Pablo getting intimate. He became angry. The next day, Pablo gave Jesus his camera back. As Jesus was recording himself, Pedro walked in, so he stopped and started watching pre-recorded videos. There he found a video of Pablo and Maria being intimate.
Joder.
Later, everyone in the house gathered for a meeting, including the kids. Maria led the meeting. They discussed power, water, and food supply. The group argued about going to the warehouse to find food. After voting, they decided to go to the warehouse.
Queda aprobada la salida. Asignaremos los integrantes.
At night, Pablo was watching TV when Maria came. She told him she was sending him with the group that was going out because he was the experienced one. On the TV, a deadly virus was shown. Maria told him they were going to plan the expedition that night.
Genial.
Later, everyone went into their rooms and wrapped themselves in blankets. Jesus recorded himself saying that the cold hour was coming. They all needed to stay covered, or the invisibles would come for them. They were attracted to warmth, so everyone stayed in their rooms.
Son como fantasmas, pero dan más miedo.
Soon, a green light passed through the corridor, freezing everyone in its path. They all saw it as it went through the door. After a short moment, everything fell silent. The next morning, everyone emerged from their rooms. Pedro, Pablo, and Lucas were going on the expedition. After they said their goodbyes, they went out. Maria then called Judas and told him they had sent out the expedition and would pass by him when they returned, if all went well. Lucas, Pablo, and Pedro walked with a gun and a flashlight. They walked through a tunnel and finally reached the warehouse. As soon as they went in, they started gathering everything they needed in their backpacks. Suddenly, Pablo accidentally cut his hand and screamed. Shortly after, they rushed out of the room to go back. They returned the way they had come and heard strange sounds from above. To get back quickly, they ran upstairs. Pedro led the way, telling them not to make noise. Pablo got angry and slammed him against the wall. Then Pedro pushed him into a room and closed the door on him. Inside, dark figures approached Pedro. He screamed as they walked toward him. Pedro told Lucas that Pablo had jumped into the room. Lucas called out to Pablo, but Pedro pulled him back.
Lucas! Vámonos!
They ran down the corridor and finally reached Judas's place. Mateo heard about what had happened. They all gathered to talk about it, and Pedro mentioned that Pablo had jumped into a room full of strangers.
Nadie hubiera podido hacer nada.
Judas angrily told them they should not have passed through the prohibited areas because the house was filled with the infected. Maria then told them she needed a written report from both.
Magda, te hago responsable.
Mateo went to Maria to tell her more chickens had died. She grew angry at the news. The invisibles were active these days. She asked about Lucas, and he told her Lucas had locked himself away. He wanted to be alone and thought it was his fault. Maria reminded him of the time when the place had been filled with people. It had been very long since then.
¿Cuánto hace? 9 años.
Maria then shared her fear. One day, one of the generators would break down and they would die. But Mateo was hopeful. He thought there might be another place, other people elsewhere. Maria reminded him that they had been on the run for years but had never encountered anyone who was not contaminated. They were lying to the kids and there was no hope.
Somos como los políticos que nos llevaron a esto.
Mateo then suggested a solution, killing all the kids and then themselves. He walked away, leaving Maria distraught. Later that night, the invisibles returned. The corridor froze as the green gas-like thing passed. Inside, everyone was cold and shaking. Jesus recorded his message from under his blankets. He talked about Pablo and the invisibles. Finally, the invisibles left and silence returned. Ana got up, still wrapped in her blanket, and opened the door, but behind her it closed. She turned and saw the invisibles were still there. She ran to another room and knocked on the door where Mateo was. Just as the invisibles closed in, he pulled her inside. He then scolded her for her recklessness. Meanwhile, the door of Jesus' room opened and an invisible entered. Jesus looked at it and saw a human-shaped figure looming over Pedro's empty bed, but he calmed himself and stayed where he was. The next morning, Ana woke up next to Mateo. She woke him up and asked him to see her. She leaned in and kissed him. Magdalena woke up and could not find Ana. She frantically knocked on everyone's door until Mateo opened his and told her that Ana was with him.
Vino a mitad de noche, decía que tenían miedo.
Later, they all gathered and held a memorial for Pablo. Jesus asked to go to Judas, and permission was granted. Ana and Jesus headed to Judas. There they watched a movie. After that, Jesus asked about the strangers. Strangers were people who had been affected by a virus that killed them slowly. Their skin started falling off before they bled all over. If they touched others, they could infect them.
Son armas, contagiados por el enemigo para aniquilarnos.
Judas also told him about his parents. They had been killed by other people during an internal fight. Meanwhile, upstairs, a young boy showed up saying that his house was overtaken by strangers.
Magda, Pablo, Mateo.
When Anna and Jesus went back, they found the new boy eating. Jesus recognized him as the person he had been leaving food for every day.
Por Dios, Jesús es un crío. Pudo haber muerto de hambre o algo peor.
Lo siento.
The boy told them the strangers had come in that morning and decided to stay. Now, this was a threat to the group because the strangers were 70 meters from their safe area.
No podemos ir a ningún lado. Este es el último rincón sin infectar.
Judas suggested cleaning the area of strangers, and everyone got ready. Before they left, Anna told Magdalena that she loved Mateo. Magdalena angrily confronted Mateo, but he denied anything had happened between them.
Te juro que no pasó nada.
The group then headed to the area where the infected were and started shooting at them. Upstairs, the three kids gathered and talked. Suddenly, an infected walked behind them. They quickly ran away and managed to escape into another room. Downstairs, Maria faced Pablo, now infected. She hesitated to shoot as he walked toward her. Seeing this, Mateo stepped in, but got touched.
Lo siento.
Mateo became infected, and Maria was forced to shoot him. Upstairs, the stranger kept chasing the kids, and Jesus fell. As he got up, the stranger briefly touched him. He followed Anna and the new boy into another room, but Anna did not want to get close to him, saying he was infected. When the adults returned, Judas was the only one who did not believe Jesus was infected. Later, Pedro insisted Jesus must be killed.
Estás hablando de sacrificar a un crío de 10 años.
Llámalo como quieras.
Jesus was also not feeling well. He was having nightmares. Magdalena took Anna to her lab to show her the stars. Anna heard about Mateo's death.
Fue muy extraño.
She told Magdalena nothing had happened, that they had just kissed and cuddled. Meanwhile, the new boy, Saulo, kept Jesus company.
Porque me conviertes en extraño.
Later, Pedro heard a sound from the wall. He spray-painted a shape on the wall. When Maria walked into the room, she saw it was covered in spray paint.
No eres la única artista que hay aquí.
He started telling her he heard voices and felt like they were being watched. Then he began shoving things aside, looking for the camera. He pulled out a gun and told her what he had done to Pablo. They started fighting, and the gun fired. Everyone rushed to the room, and Pedro walked out with the gun. Behind him, Maria was wounded.
Solo quiero al crío. Y a quien le haya tocado.
He shot Magdalena in the arm. Suddenly, the Invisibles arrived. Pedro walked toward them as the others escaped. He then turned the gun on himself as they surrounded him. The others escaped, running while the Invisibles followed them. They went outside, and the Invisibles stayed back. But soon they were surrounded by strangers. Judas hugged the boys to reassure them. Maria died from her wounds.
Que podíamos regresar algún día, pero...
Lucas recorded one last message saying that the strangers had surrounded them and would turn them. He then ended the message. At that exact moment, he saw light from afar. He whispered, "It is blue."
Es azul.
As the view zoomed out, it was revealed that the facility lay beneath a massive geodesic dome on the lunar surface, while Earth was depicted as fractured to its core and encircled by drifting debris.